been a while, hasn't it? I could come up with an interesting excuse for why I haven't done a vlog about Shuffle Breaker for so long, but let's be fair, not enough people are watching me that intently. Point is, though, I'm hard back at work, at it again, and I've made a few more improvements to talk about. For a start, I went back and completely redid the field's model geometry, as well as its UV maps. With this also came the necessity to redo some of the textures I had been using, so I decided to completely redo every single color scheme of the field, as well as add a new one called Neon. Neon is based on a rather common appearance of air hockey tables where the rink, so to speak, is a deeper blue color than usual with some sort of lighter neon-colored trim. The color schemes also have had some different shader effects applied to them. For example, the foosball scheme has some normal mapping that I took from a wood texture project I had worked on earlier, while the default and neon versions of the rink have a bit of specular work done to them to make them seem a bit more like a shiny or reflective surface, sort of indicative of an air hockey table you might find in your local bowling alley, or a nearby Dave & Buster's, or an arcade if you happen to spot such a rare occurrence in the wild. One other change you might notice is that I've now made it so that in the single-player version, the camera is also directly above the field, much as it is in the two-player. I settled on this visual consistency between single and multiplayer because when I do make an Android port of the game, or an iOS port, or some other mobile port, it'll make more sense to have both single and multiplayer versions have the exact same view, especially for touchscreens. I also shifted the paddles back a couple units, which in addition to allowing for a larger playing field and less chance of pucks getting stuck behind the paddles, also allowed me to expand the number of blocks that can exist in the playing field. This makes for a higher scoring game as well as a bit of a faster game at times. Now granted, it's not perfect, especially since pucks just barely squeeze into that space between the back wall and the paddle, leading to issues at times. However, I feel it is a step in the right direction. Now, of course, I still have a lot more work to do, primarily fixing the physics of the puck so that it gets stuck less when bouncing off walls, and adding power-ups, which some people have been asking for. Hopefully I'll have some of that around in a week or so. Until then, stick around.